I'm a part-time ESL teacher here at Laney College, and the project that we're still working on a title, is based on, one, improving our students' listening and speaking skills through interviewing and storytelling. But two, we've partnered with the Voice of Witness program, which focuses on telling stories around human rights issues and sharing those stories to show a more complete picture of who people are, often ignored people. For example, refugees, people that have been imprisoned, mostly wrongly imprisoned, women, people of color, poor white people, basically stories that don't often make it into the news or get little or no coverage. Especially now we have a lot of debate and controversy over things like immigration, and the U.S. is at war with, several different countries. We don't often hear the real true narratives of what is happening to people's lives. So our project, we're using one of their readers as a basis, but for our students, we're simply telling our own stories to get a more complete picture of who we are. We carry multiple complex identities, and so hopefully as a result, people can see more about who we are, and that we can connect with each other and realize the things that we have in common and figure out a better way moving forward, so we're not just seeing each other as stereotypes or what the news tells us to see. We appreciate your time and energy. We appreciate Laney College, and we appreciate each and every one of our students sharing an important story that they want to share with people like you. So thank you, and please feel free to ask us any questions you want after the film, and we look forward to talking with you.
Today I talk about my story about my first job in American. My first job in American is not easy to find this job because I can speak English. I don't have any job skill and job experience. My cousins helped me to get a job in the restaurant. So in this job I learned a lot because I learned how to wash the dish and serve the meat and vegetable in the restaurant. In the first day I very pain in my hand. My hand is very pain. At night I can't sleep because I feel very tired at night. I talked to my boss, I can do this job. My boss say, everyone first at the restaurant, same like you, it's always feel very pain in your hands and your leg and your back. Maybe some people can sleep at night. Yeah. She say after 1 week you will feel better. I listen to my boss. I stick to do this job. I go to the restaurant. Second day, I very scared to go to the restaurant because I am not doing well, but my managers help me a lot to do the dishwasher. He's communicate me, always encourage me to do this job. And my co-worker is very nice. They communicate me, they tell me no problem, you can do this job, you are young. Yeah, in this job I learn a lot in American. The job is very difficult. Yeah. Yeah. So I I will do this job for 1 year. I stick to do this job 1 year. I earn a little bit money. I go to school. Yeah. I learn English in the adult school, so I can speak a little bit. I can do another job. My life is going to get better. And this job I learned in America is no easy to survive. Yeah. So I study hard and working hard to survive in America. Yeah, now I feel better. Yeah.
Okay, hello, I am Phong. Today I want to talk about the first time I came to California. So the first day I came to California in January 29th, 2014. I arrived in San Francisco airport. The first impression was the custom and the board was they were friendly and kind. They helped me how to enter to the U.S. And the next day when I woke up, it looked like a dream. I felt everything was different in Vietnam. I saw many cars parked outside the street, and I remember the first time I took the bus. I was scary and I was scary by the billboard because the bus is so long, especially the weather is so cold, and I thought I should go back. I should go back Vietnam. I didn't want to live here anymore. That was a challenge for me in my life. But when I talk about the purpose why I came here, and then I keep going. I went to school. I made so many friends, and I learned a lot of things here. For example, I learned how to say hello and thank you to everyone often, and so now I have a big change in my life. I'm so happy with education when I live here. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Haladin. I come from Cambodia. Today I would like to tell my own story. Just this happened right now. So I start from my girlfriend, my wife, delivers my daughters, and when we do the birth certificate, put my name is the dad and my girlfriend is the mom. After that 3 months, my girlfriend go to the social security department to apply the care, the Medicare for my daughters. At that time, I was very busy at working, so I cannot go to. I could not go with her. So the officer need me and my girlfriend take the fingerprint together for the Medicare for my daughter. So I didn't do that. After that 1 month, the child support sent me the letter, asked me to pay Medicare support and child support. After that, I didn't apply anything to the child support. The child support let me 30 days, 1 month to apply, but I didn't. After that 1 month, the lady come to my home and knock the door. I want to talk to Paladin. And then I said, yes, I am Paladin. And then I hold my baby in one hand, and then she asked me, are you still with your girlfriend? I said, yes, we are together. After that 1 month, the child support still send me, ask me to pay the child support 1 month, 534. So from November to January, November 2017 to January 2018, 3 months. So I owe the child support $1,602 and not include the interest. After that, I decided to try to Pleasanton to the child support department, and then I told them we are live together, and then I need you help me to close my case, and then they said yes, we will close your case. After that, one day they called me, we can close your case, but you still owe the money 534 to the state because your wife is still this money 1 month already, and my wife didn't receive anything. And then they asked me go to the social security department to ask them, and then I asked them, and then they called to the child support. Child support called my wife and send the letter to my wife to sign to stop child support. And then I take this paper to the child support again. I try to Pleasanton 3 times. I drove to Pleasanton 3 times. And then they said, yeah, they will clear for me. But right now, everything is not clear. And last week, they still send the bill for me to pay child support too. So my story right now is still happening. Everything is not clear yet. But for me and my wife still live together. Because I don't know what happened for my life, because I don't know the law of the United States, because I'm not born here. I come from other country, Cambodia. So right now I want to tell you that this story still happen yet, not finished yet.
Hello, my name is Vladimir. I'm from Brazil. I have 39 years old, and my history is about one old girlfriend, and maybe 10 years old, 10 years later, no, 10 years old, I live with this girlfriend, and I changed my work for a bank. I work in a bank in Brazil and get another job, more time for working, and don't have so many time for this girl. And 3 months later, this girl get my check and copy my signature and buy one car, buy one TV, buy any objects. And I work in a bank, and my boss say for me, hey, you have a problem. You need to go to talk to your manager in your bank. Okay, I go. And in the bank, he show me the checks, not my signature, but close my signature. And I lost my job, because in the bank you need clean name, do you know? And I lost my car, I lost my apartment, and I crashed this relationship, sure, but I'm so sad about this situation. And finish 3 months later, one friend said for me, hey, let's come on, let's go to the party, talk with friends. I say, no, man, I know I'm not good for this. No, go. And I try and go. And I get a beer, sit down, and cry. Cry a lot because I remember the history and I lost everything. And this time one girl come with me and say, hey, that's okay, why you cry? And I say the history for she. And today she's my girlfriend. And she helped me to fix the situation. And now everything's okay, but it's a not so good time in my life. That's it, guys. Thank you.
Hello Marisa, my name is Mohammed. I'm from Afghanistan.
Yes, hi Mohammed. What story do you tell us today?
Yeah, today I'm going to talk about my life challenges and what challenges I faced when I was like 7 years old, and how I support myself when I was 7 years old. So first in Afghanistan, when the terrorists come to Afghanistan and surround Afghanistan, we had to leave Afghanistan and move to Pakistan because my father, he was in the army, so that's why we moved to Pakistan. We leave everything in Afghanistan, we moved there. It was a new life there, and we start our life from the beginning. I mean from the zero, we didn't have anything there. So my father, he was the only one, he worked in Pakistan, and we were like a huge member of family, like 8 members of family. So I was 7 years old, and beside the school, I mean, I had to pay for the school because it was like a private school. So after school, I got to work. I mean, I went to in front of like supermarkets, the big stores. I was there and I was selling like paper bags. I know that the people didn't pay attention, but when they come out from the store, I say, hey uncle, do you want a paper bag and other stuff? And they said, yeah. After that, so we moved back to Afghanistan after like 6 years. 6 or 7 years we stayed in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. Once the tourists leave Afghanistan, we come back to Afghanistan. And I started my school back in Afghanistan. And then my father, he went back to the army. And when I graduated from high school, I got some English classes and computer classes. Then I got a job in the US Army in Afghanistan, like a translator. And I faced too much challenges during the army. And then I got SIV, Special Immigration Visa from the US Army, and then I got here. So I thanks my God to save my life and gave me opportunities to get here, supporting my family right now.
So. It's very amazing, your story, your challenge. And what did you learn about this?
Yeah, I learned about my challenges, that life is not easy. Whenever you face the challenges, you shouldn't give up and you should continue doing hard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, my name is Marisa, I'm from Mexico, and I want to tell you a story.
Okay, so what story you want to tell us?
I want to tell you about my mother-in-law story. Her name is Paulina, and the story is about why my mother-in-law doesn't like fancy dolls. Fancy dolls are like this doll, okay? This is made of plastic, and her eyes moved, and this is a fancy doll for my mother-in-law. Later I tell you about this one. Okay, when my mother-in-law was a child, she lived in a very poor neighborhood at the south of Mexico City. Sorry. And well, she lived in a one-room house with her 2 sisters and her mother one brother. Okay. They have their house in a multiple house with another people, and there was only one bathroom in this house for all the people. The most valuable treasure of Paulina was a beautiful doll made of material that named rococo, who is this is a fine fragile material which the dolls made of at this time. Her doll was a mobile eyes, beautiful blue eyes.
So you mean dolls like this?
Dolls like this.
Okay.
And it was the treasure of my mother-in-law. And it was a beautiful green dress and shoes. It was a fancy doll. But they remember they were very poor. Okay, because she was the most little the little girl in the family. She always listened to the stories, the conversations of the elders, you know, and the gossip. For example, the gossips about who fight who fight with or maybe the who sorry, the gossips about what happened in other houses or any kind of gossips.
Okay, so Marisa, can you tell us why your mother-in-law doesn't like fancy dolls
sure.
like this? So you mean this is the fancy dolls, yeah?
No, this is a doll made of fabric.
Fabric. Okay.
And then, well, someday she heard about a story of a man in black. Yes, that excuse me. Oh, someday was a man in black that some nights came out of the darkness and scared the night owls. You know, that was the people said.
So you mean it was like a man inside the darkness?
But a man like a ghost.
Ghost.
Or a devil, you know. Someday her mother and her sisters told her that they need to go outside because a neighbor was lost, and they need to go outside to looking for this person. And her mother says, Paulina, Paulina, we were outside for looking Mr. X, and close the door and don't open to anyone, please. Paulina was terrified because she was alone. Yes, and she was sure that the man in black would come. Okay. I could imagine the terror of the little girl However, she obeyed her mother, and he locked the door with a thick stick. And in the meantime, her mother, outside, locked the door with a padlock. Okay? They passed, and her siblings didn't come to the house. And Paulina started to hear any kind of noises. And among these noises, she started to hear steps. And that steps that were heading towards the door of the room. She knew that was the devil, and she was terrified. Paulina told me, the man towards me, and I only have my little dog with me, and so I hugged the dog and closed my eyes. The devil made moans by my ear, and I was petrified. My dog had its eyes open, and sometimes she closed them. Like me, she was terrified. Fortunately, Paulina's siblings arrived to the house, and her mother said, "Paulina, open the door." And Paulina was crying and screaming, "No, no, the devil is here." Her angry mother told her, "If you don't open the door, truly the devil is going to appear you."
Wow.
Okay. At the end, Paulina could move because her scared body did not respond and opened the door. "Mom," said Paulina, "it is true. The devil was here. He whispered in my ear, and even my dog was scared." Paulina's mom said, "Where are you?" Very bad words. "Devil, I will give you your dessert." What about the dog? Okay, when Paulina saw her, she felt the terror, and she decided gave her to another girl, and since that was happened, Paulina only wanted dolls made of fabric. She had never wanted to have a fancy doll.
Wow, you told us an interesting story about your mother-in-law. So, what did you learn about this story, and why you told us this story?
You know, I feel very empathetic with her. I feel the scare, the fear of Paulina's, yes, and I feel sad because she was a very little girl that she needs to challenge this story, terrifying story. Yes.
Thank you.
That's why.
My name is Heidi. I'm from Guatemala, and I'm going to talk about a difficult experience that I have with my family. I faced with my family on December 22, 2016, and I'm gonna share a picture from my father. This is my father. I have two siblings and my parents who live in Guatemala. One day, my father had a serious accident. He was on his motorcycle when a truck hit him, and when this happened, my brother called me concerned because he don't know how to do. When he gave me the bad news, I felt worried and desperate. Because the doctors told my brother that my father need some surgeries, and because his left leg was totally destroyed. My family was worried because they didn't have enough money, and the hope was me. I was working on part-time, and I didn't have enough money to help them, and also I want to travel to my country because I want to be close to my father, to give my support.
Your father, they had the medical, having medical.
Have medical? Yeah,
Insurance.
He was working in the company, and he got insurance. Like insurance is different in my country, and I decided no travel because that money from the trip I used it to send to my family to help them, and my husband helped me too with some money, and my father had 4 surgeries, and we spent $10,000, I think, in recovery. But the doctor saved his leg. And
If your family pay or the government?
the insurance pay, but my family spend a lot of money to travel to see him every day, and stay with him, and food, and pay someone to drive to the hospital, and many things, and medications.
And when the shop company pay.
Yeah. And my father, my family, my sister, my mother, and my brother take turns to care him in the hospital every day, every night. And 6 months ago, I can travel, and I stay with them, and I had a great time with my family, and I'm so happy to see my father. Yeah, this is my difficult decision that I face.
very lucky.
Yeah.
You like it.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Your father
Yeah.
recovered.
Yeah. He is still in recovery. This year he is going to start with his
Now he
rehabilitation.
now he can walk.
Excuse me?
Now he can walk.
No, they yeah.
Now I told my story. I'd like to talk about about meeting other in the living in the senior living center. I have gone to the living senior living center since October the last year. The adult all live in this hotel. They are retired. Some of them are teachers before. They told us, they teach us English. They teach us pronunciation, conversation, and social communication. They are personality and experienced person. I think I learned many English skills of speaking and listening from the adult. We go to there every Friday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We never pay, and with information. And if they also often coffee to drink. If it's the holiday, we bring our tradition food to serve each other. I have a wonderful time with the adult to spend it every weekend. I think my life is beautiful. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Raul Montoya. So I'm from Honduras. So my story is about I couldn't speak English when I came. I was 11 years old. So first I went to high school. The first day during the class, I didn't understand what the teacher said. So I stayed quiet the whole day. So basically I didn't understand nothing. So then after that, when I finished all my classes, so I didn't understand. So one thing they made an appointment with my parents after school. So I had to stay after school with them and my parents. So basically they told a story. My parents told a story about my country, that my country only talks Spanish. And so they said, the teacher said, how can we support Raul? And then so they gave a lot of example, like we can they told my parents they asked a question to my parents, can Raul stay at the school? They say yes. It was 4 to 7 o'clock p.m. They teach me how to pronunciation the vocabulary, and they help me with the word what definition mean. And then one thing I remember, they told me that I had to look at video. I knew to have to look at video. I had to use classes to learn English. So that's what I did. So basically, I get a lot of support from them. And then the other ways that they give it to me is that I had to talk outside in my house and in my work, my English, so my English can go better and better. So that's what I'm doing right now. I keep that remind all the time. So yeah, and my goal was to get my diploma. So I achieved that. So I have my diploma. I graduated already. I remember it was on June 13, 2014. So I'm so excited about it. So right now, my goal is to keep learning my English, keep practice, so I can do better and better and find my own job, so I can support my family. And so, yeah. So thank you.
Okay, this it's the person maybe I love more in my life. She grew up my father. It's not his mom, but she grew up him because she don't like living in USA when my grandma lived. So this person grew up my father, grew up my brothers, and grew up me. So I'm Daniela Gutierrez. I'm from Mexico, and my story is like sad. So I love this person a lot. I born in USA, but when I was 2 years old, I come back to Mexico with my parents and my brothers because my parents doesn't like live in USA. So I come back just for vacations. I always with this person. Her name is Chonita. I always with her. Go to school, I went with her, eat with her, sleep with her, everything. And my last vacations to USA, I took this picture, and she was perfect. She was happy, she was perfect. I came to USA, and when I come back, she was paralyzed. 1 week, she was like that, and she died. So I did a promise to God, if she recovered, I stopped to have a boyfriend and to like go out, but she died. So I got pregnant when I was 15 years old. I go live with the guy. We came here to have the baby, and we come back. We have a lot of problems there, and we get divorced. But I already was pregnant again when we get divorced. So I have the second baby. I have a lot of problems, health problems, and I can't come to USA for have a baby. So this guy don't want to help with nothing, and he went to my house one day when the second baby born, and he told to my parents he's going to look for a liar or see how much money he have to help for 2 kids. I guess he's still looking for a liar because he never come back. So that's why I came here to USA can give the papers to my son for support them because my parents are old. They can't support my kids. And my brothers, they have own life. They can help me or support my kids because are mine and it's my responsibility. So I came here for that. But when I came here, I can't speak English. I tried to came to college, but I can't because they say I'm international student. So I go to Berkeley, to adult school, and there helped me to start to practice my English. But when I got my first job, my boss helped me a lot. He helped me basically like 90% with my English. So everybody asked me like how you can go to Mexico, and I say because I'm born in USA. I say, oh, you're American citizen and you doesn't speak English. I hear that my school, my work, my house, when I go out with my brothers, they say like, oh yeah, she's American citizen, but she doesn't speak English. So I feel really, really bad. So I want like my kids and my parents to be proud of me. That's why I came to Laney for improve my English, because I want to get a better job or give them a better life. And I'm waiting for the papers for my son. And now I can say like, I'm American citizen and I'm speaking English. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Francisco Rodas. I am 21 years old and I am from Guatemala. Today I'm going to be telling my story about the time when I got to the United States for the first time. I came here by airplane, so it wasn't hard for me. I know some people can come to this country by crossing the desert of Mexico, and so for me it was easy just to come here. At the beginning, I like it because I was amazed by a lot of things that they have in here that I don't have in my country, like buildings and like big buildings and cars and black people, because we don't have that much black people in my country. And so I was surprised that to see a lot of black people in the city, in the streets. So I didn't went to school for almost a year because I was waiting for my mom and my little brother to come, because she had to bring some papers in order for me to go to the school. So after waiting patiently 1 year, I finally got to go to high school. They put me on 9th grade in high school. So it was very difficult for me because I didn't speak any English, like none, zero. And then I was slowly dying inside because I didn't know how to communicate with other people, and I was so shy that people will pass by and I would not say a word because I was so shy to talk to anyone. But luckily I was so lucky that there were some people that spoke the same language that I do, like Spanish, and some of them helped me, some of them did not, because I don't know what the reason was, but some of them didn't help me. And I was struggling in school. Always struggling. I wasn't the smartest guy in the classroom. So, and I used to get bad grades because I didn't know how to do the homework. Until one day my English teacher, she talked to me about a after school program and everything that those programs offers to students like me, like who just arrived to the country like like this, like you don't speak the same language. So she talked to me for 10 minutes, and then after that, I give it a try. I went there. I didn't hesitate. After school, I was the first student to show up there, and she introduced me to everyone in the cafeteria, because that's where they do the tutoring and all the after-school program. And after she introduced me to everyone, I noticed that they have many games that helps you to understand and to get started with learning English. Like I remember, there were some people playing Uno. There were some people playing the hot potato, and also there were some people playing with flashcards. Like they will put each other's names in the flashcard and put something that you like or you like to do, and then just play with them, pass it around. And same with the hot potato. You have if you end up with a potato in your hands, you will have to say your name out loud and say something that you like to do or something you don't like to do. And yes, I use that. I took advantage of the program they have at that time, and over the time I was getting more comfortable with myself and talking more with everyone. And I remember I would spend like 3 to 4 hours in tutoring, because it was fun, It was fun because I had some friends in there, and we were all learning and playing around in a good way, of course. And yeah, I kept coming to tutoring and to those after-school programs until I graduated, because on the 12th grade it got really hard, and I think that was one of the I faced like many challenges in 12th grade. Like I have never done a speech before, and that's something I did on the 12th grade, and that was really hard. And by going to tutoring, they helped me to overcome that obstacle. And yeah, it has been 2 years since I graduated from high school, and I feel proud about. That's something I feel proud about. And for anyone out there who just came to this country and it's having trouble in high school, I would recommend it to take advantage of those after-school programs, because it's free. They are for you, and at the end of the day, you always learn something. Thank you.
Winter swimming for average swimmer. Louder.
Yeah, louder.
Louder.
And you can just look right here, Joy. Yeah.
Okay. Winter swimming for average swimmer is not a smaller task. For me, it's a great challenge because I lived in the warm south of China since I was born. A winter swimming group set up in our company when I was young. Everybody was exciting. I thought I can't over it, but my best friend went with me, so we joined the group. I thought maybe it is a good chance for my winning power. It started at the first day in September. Our 26 partners went to the pool. It's a 5 day, so everybody was really happy. Next, it's cooler day by day, and the partners left one by one. I almost gave up sometimes, but my goal was inspired me keep going. Gradually, I used to the hardship situation. The coolest January was coming. It's snowing. The roofs, the trees, and the ground all were white. I, like a fairy, swimming in the green water. I felt very free and happy. Spring was coming, and the last day of the April was coming too. That's the last day for our winter swim. I'm proud out that I'm the one of the 3 people. They persisted to the end, and I learned that if you have a goal, you just persist, keep going. May you will get the success. That's all.
Okay. Ready?
You put the card, yeah.
Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon, fellow Sunrise. My name is Ben Liu. I'm from Vietnam, and everybody can call my nickname Luna. Yeah. Today I share my story in first the USA. Yeah. I grew up in a big city in Vietnam. This is Ho Chi Minh City. And when I was 20 years old, I come to America. Okay, the first time I feel so confusing because everything in America so different in my hometown. The weather, the traffic, language, yeah. Everybody is so different and difficult for me. Okay, but I'm lucky because my auntie helped me and take care of me about language and about the traffic. I'm training went to the bus and the park. And after my uncle training the travel for me, and so I can travel, went to the market, went to school. But the first time I'm so sad because I cannot everything. I no job, no money. My uncle found me one job. This the babysat at home. I'm okay. Yeah, I training. Okay, because I love the children, and I believe I can do that And my mother and my auntie told me, and I see her mother took care of her for her, and I think I'm the monkey, but the monkey see and monkey do, yeah, yeah, I'm learning, but so the lucky I'm not fail, yeah. And after 1 year, I went to the Lenny College. I did for exam. So I feel funny. But I have the drive. I have a dream for my life. I can independent. I so funny. But I'm worried because I'm laid up. I cannot this babysat. Yeah. But my auntie talked to me. That's okay. You don't worry. I can support for you and your parents live in Vietnam. Okay. And I'm learning Lenny College 1 semester. After I can independent speak Vietnamese, and I can reading and writing English. Yeah, and my auntie said, you good. You never give up, and the training. Yeah. I'm still worried my parents because they old. Yeah, they retire. So my uncle had me again. See, he delivered the food, and I went together to him. Okay, he the driver, and I went to the restaurant take up food. And one day, the beautiful day, the lucky, the boss in the restaurant see me and talk. Do you want a job? I need the worker. She can speak Vietnamese, and I talk to him Vietnamese. But I talk, yeah. I need the job, but I cannot speak Vietnamese to the customer. I know English. Okay, the boss like, you don't worry. I will training for you, and I believe after 3 months you can speak English and do everything with customer. Yeah, okay. And after I went to work, the first time, of course, I did mistake a little bit, but after I feel better, and right now I do I can tell I do very good everything. I can take order on the phone. I can do customer everything. But sometimes the customer so hard because the customer what is the popular right here. Okay, I tell this the pho popular and the vermicelli popular. The customer, no, I don't need. Okay, I smile and okay, you can try it the separate. But the customer very hard. Okay, I'm allergy with peanuts. I'm allergy with the gluten free because okay, I'm tired. Okay, but I don't know. I don't know. But I cannot. Okay, I call the manager or the boss. Take care. Continue. Yeah. And right now I like the line right here, but I see everything the same my hometown, and thank you for my auntie and my mother. If I don't exchange my country, but I don't think I will do that in my hometown, because when I'm my hometown, I'm the fail exam for university. Yeah. Okay. I'm beginning again in the United States. Yeah. That's it.
You said I think you forget it. You're working for babysitter for the restaurant?
Yeah.
After you were working in the restaurant?
Oh, when I did the baby sat, I'm still baby sat in the morning, and after in the evening I went to the other school. But when I know I don't do that, I don't do the work in the restaurant. I did work in the restaurant about 1 year ago. Yeah. Before I don't do that.
So you were a babysitter for your auntie's child or for other? For other?
Yeah, for other. Because I see my auntie took care of for granddaughter, and I see, but I'm training. Yeah, I'm training a little bit. Yeah.
Then I want to ask one thing. Are you still living with your auntie?
Yeah. I live with my auntie and her family 3 years ago. Yeah, and I love her and I love her family, because my cousins with me so nice. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Sonny.
Hi, Neil.
I want to interview you something. So tell me about yourself and tell me about your story. Difficult time overcoming in USA, please.
Yes, when I just come to the United States, I feel very sad, and I must to overcome the difficult thing, like take the driver license. I must to study the theory of driver license and practice the driving car by the teacher and set appointment the exam to take driver license, and I must apply the medical and must apply to take the social security card. When I don't speak English, I didn't speak English, and I don't understand anything the people speak to me. Yeah. When I feel sad, I felt sad. I felt sad when I meet my countryside, and I feel anything stand for me. Hailin, introduce your own story about you just come to the United States.
Okay, my name is Len. I have one sister, one brother. I was born in village, when I first came in USA. Wow, I can speak English very well. I don't understand English very well. It's very difficult for me,
Yes.
I don't know nobody here, When I came here, the Catholic Charity helped me.
Yeah.
They help me to find a job, how to get a job, how to, they teach the ESL class, and then I try to study there. I don't know how to go to to buy food at the supermarket. I don't know how to go to the school, how to take the bus. What's the bus? There's law number. If you miss the number, you take, you got wrong way, man. That's crazy. It's different. It's my country. But me, I was born in village. Village, no bus, no cities, no social security, no hospital, you know. We here, we can how to go hospital, how to make appointments, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, I got crazy confused, you know. That's why I, you know, then I try to study English. I can, I can speak English very well. I will know, you know, how to ask, how to go where, you know, we can ask somebody, you know. If you understand English and you can speak English,
Yes,
know,
me too.
that's sweet.
After the difficult time, I try to apply the learning college, and step by step, I understand anything people speak, and I speak to anything to people.
Oh.
So I overcome the difficult by the different language. I overcome this.
Yes, so how do you feel now and before? How do you feel?
Before I feel very sad, and
how about now?
Yeah. Now I feel happy when I overcome anything to surpass anything, and I live in now. I feel very happy.
Hi, Danielle. Thank you for coming through today. Really appreciate it. And we'd just love to hear more about you and perhaps some of the inspiration that you have for being a counselor here at Laney College.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. And I've been here almost 2 years now. I'm really passionate about the student population. I was first at Merritt, so I really like the Peralta district. In terms of the student population, we have pretty much people from everywhere, and that's what I love. And my passion is fueled by them, you know, and it's cool to get all walks of life from people who like are just here as retirees and they want to, you know, work on something they never worked on before, to students fresh out of high school who have no idea, you know, what they want to do, what their career is going to be, to those who are like super focused wanting to transfer. So you get like a wide range, and it's cool to play a role in developing whatever stage that is. So, so yeah, that's.
Is there a particular like moment in your life or experience that made you know like, yep, counseling, that's what I want to do?
Actually, so I've always kind of been a counselor to like friends and family.
Yes.
And so my undergrad was psychology because I really like to know how the mind works and all that. But then in grad school, I kind of thought that I actually started out in the school psychology program, which is a lot different than school counseling or counseling in general, because it's more of like doing assessments and you know, writing reports to determine learning disabilities and stuff. And I appreciate that I had that training. I did 2 years of the 3-year program because it does give me more insight into a lot of what a lot of our students experience. You know, it's nothing that you can just see. So it really plays a role in how people perform, and a lot of times it goes undiagnosed. You know, people have learning disabilities and they don't even know it. And it's really cool that they, you know, if they do have that to where they can get their accommodations, and school is the way it should be for them, not too, you know, not as challenging as it should be, or it has to be. So it was a good program, but what started happening was that I was doing a lot of assessments and report writing and less like interaction with students. And then I also felt like I was, it was like doing a disservice to them, because with school psych, there are so many caseloads and you're not really able to give each student the amount of time that I feel is required to do a really thorough job. And so there's like, you know, you look at the home setting, you look at all settings for that student, and just to see, you know, what impacts them in different ways. But I don't know, I just got disheartened because of, like, I saw a lot of students being placed into like ED classes, emotional disturbance, and you know, like just I just didn't, and of course I want to be the change maker, but some things are beyond your control, and I just was, I was talking to my people in my program, and they were suggesting the counseling route, the school counseling. So I did that and I loved it. And I still, still similar aspects, but it's just more like hands-on with students, more, I think it was the right decision. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to do that originally, but I'm really glad I did.
So can I ask you, with all that experience working with students and then interaction with staff, teachers, full-time, part-time, everybody on the campus, classified, maintenance, cafeteria, everything, is there something or some things you think that we could do together to basically like maximize all our success to just make it a more amazing experience for students? Because I know, like at Laney, there's so much great things happening, but is there a few things you think we could all do together to just like make it even more amazing?
I think simple things like smiling, because you'd be surprised. Like I mean, I like to smile when I see people, and I like to get that back. And it's usually contagious. That does generally happen. Not all the time. You never know what kind of day somebody's having, but for the most part, it really brightens people's day, and then you just get like a response like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And so just simple things like that. Like even when students come to see me, I'm pleasant and it seems refreshing to them, but it's not like anything that I have to try hard to do, and I don't feel like it would be hard for anybody to do that. So simple things like that collectively, I just think that would like boost the morale and make everybody's day better.
So don't ask people like, what do you want?
Exactly. Like, and it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to just be very pleasant. So I think that collectively, if we're all just more cheerful and like respectful of people's day and situations, then I think that could be an overall thing to help students out. But also, being willing to go the extra step. Like if people have questions or, because a lot of times in counseling we'll get questions that aren't necessarily in our area, but then they've already been bounced around so much and it's pretty discouraging. So then just pick up the phone and make the phone call, instead of sending them back to where they came from. Just be like, oh yeah, okay, hold on, let's figure this out real quick. And then you can talk to the person that you spoke to on the phone, like, okay, in the future, this is the answer, and like then they shouldn't be brought up. So it's all about like, helping every department out and teaching each other about how to make students' lives easier. But yeah, just going the extra step sometimes.
With like being a one-stop for students, and if you don't have it, find out how to get it.
Right.
And that's I see a lot at Laney. That's great. So
yeah,
I appreciate it. Is there anything else you wanted to say or
I just am happy to be a counselor. Come see me.
Hi, Tamil.
Hi, Evan.
Thank you so much for coming and being part of this project. We really appreciate your previous visit and giving a chance for students to get to know about who you are and some about your position here, President of Laney College. But today, we're hoping to hear a little bit more about your background and maybe share a story or two about, what made you who you are. So, can you tell us what's an important story you think we should know about yourself growing up, background?
So I think probably the most important story, well, first of all, let me just say thank you. Honestly, like I really enjoy coming to the class and communicating with the students, and I think they ask really thoughtful questions, and it was just good to be connected in that way. And so I really appreciated the environment in your classroom. So I wanted to say thanks for letting me invade your space a little bit and be included.
Well, thank you.
And
really we had met previously at Contra Costa College, so it was really easy to, you always had a good vibe, so it made it really easy to ask you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think probably for me, one of the most, so I've talked about this before, like at other college events or things like that, but I think for students, often for me, it's I have used this line. I'm going to use it probably when I talk in a couple weeks. But so I wrote my college essay to get into college, and the starting line was, "I am a book that has often been judged by its cover." And intrinsically, that probably speaks volumes about who I am and the lens and perspective that I have in the way in which I see the world, interact with the world, and the way I would think the world sees and interacts with me. And part of it has been a defense mechanism in a lot of ways. And then in high school, when I was graduating at the same time, it was probably, I've had some times in my life that have been pretty shaping, have helped shape who I am. But my quote in the yearbook was about the Atticus Finch, like the scout from To Kill a Mockingbird, saying, you know, Atticus always says you don't understand people unless you walk around in their shoes a bit. I'm terribly chopping up, but that's the gist of the thing. So I think I've had this heart and perspective for recognizing that people are much deeper than what they look like on the outside, and that it takes a lot of time and energy to go past that, to think about it. So I'm one of 7 children. I'm adopted from Korea. My parents are both Caucasian, and they had 2 natural sons that were born, and then when they could no longer have children, they decided to adopt me, and I'm adopted internationally. I don't have a real birthday. I don't know where I was born. I was like abandoned in an orphanage and sort of lived in Korea the first couple of years of my life. And I'm a little scared about 23andMe and something like that I'll like look at it and find out that I, am totally something different. But my whole life has been an experience of people, what are you? I've been asked that by more people than I can. And I've always been in a defensive stance, like, depending on who's asking me, it's a very, like, outer thing. Like, what are you? Well, like, human, like,
Why are you asking me this?
Why are you asking me this? But I also understand the context for culture, right? So in the API community, especially, there is a lot around family and culture and heritage and, like, really kind of owning that space and wanting to be proud. So the second follow-up question would always be, depending on the race or ethnicity of the person who was asking me, would be like either a denial of, no way you're Korean, you're totally something else, right?
Right.
Or it would be, well, do you speak the language? And then I would get a total reaction of like, how dare you not speak the language? And then I'd have to be like, I mean, and this is from store owners to like people on the street so this really has been since a very young age all the way even to now. I mean, I got it last week where like 3 or 4 college CEOs like didn't remember who I am and thought I was somebody else. They literally, I've met them before and they were calling me different names, and I feel oftentimes very, very invisible in spaces. And so I say to tell the story about like I am a book that has often been judged by my cover, and I wrote in my essay, and I still believe that today. Everything I do, the way I try to treat people, everybody has room for improvement. The way I try to approach this work in community colleges or the work jointly with you and other things is to ensure that like people's stories are illuminated in different ways, right? That we tell this incredible story about the students that we serve here, that we are not allowed to just paint over who people are intrinsically. And so I at least try to approach that, and I hope that people, will afford me the same sort of thing. So I think that's been really defining for me is, when I became a college president, and I shared this at the College Flex Day, people were like, you're not the president. No way are you the president.
Right.
A lot of like, and so I often feel in the space of like having to kind of prove myself, and I feel like it's similar with our students oftentimes, right? Like we have a deficit-minded outlook.
Our teachers too.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the teacher? What?
Exactly. But we have a kind of this like, often like, quizzical, so, and sometimes I should be excited about it, right? I look young, so, good face cream, like good jeans, like those kind of things. But I think I want for our students to know that I see them, and I don't take for granted that the deep stories and their experiences have been brought here, and like we may not always be able to like illuminate it in the industrial complex of education in a college, but I really have a very big passion for making sure that like I'm staying connected to that when I like try to help lead the institution. So.
Well, I can see too when people are asking you that, because you know, may not believe it. People ask me sometimes that same question: "What are you?" I see my hair, or you know, different ways that I might talk or interact with people. And I was say I'm from the Bay Area. But is there a part too of people? Because I find like if you say I'm this or I'm that, it's like they want to judge you then and figure out how to treat you, and or like pigeonhole you.
Sure.
So do you feel? Because what I'm hearing in your story is like when people can't pigeonhole you, maybe there's a power in that too.
Interesting.
Because they, you know, then they don't quite know, based on this American script of racial attitudes or gender, etc., like how to treat somebody, which really, you know, there's so much wrong with it. I mean, do you feel like there's a power in that too? Like you're saying about maybe kind of the frustration or awkwardness, but do you feel like you had mentioned in seeing students, is there also a kind of like power in that, people just not knowing?
I think I've grown into maybe the space just because of like this consistent experience. I've been going through a little period now with sort of some experiences with like supposedly CEOs at the same level who I feel are very, I feel kind of demeaning in the sense like really like it doesn't take that long to kind of recognize and remember somebody. And I get it, like I have a hard time doing that. So, but I think that there is a power in space, and I think part of it for me is another, you know, example of this is I really believe intrinsically like you come to the work, you have passion, like and there isn't a cookie cutter model for like what a professor should look like, right? And I think that there are very old school vibes about like what a college president should look like, how they should dress, how they should talk, their vernacular. So I have a very Bay Area vernacular, right? I like I think I use a lot of slang. I kind of, you know, weave in and out, like I think in terms of my language and maybe my reactions to things that don't feel very presidential. I don't dress to some people's ideas very presidential. So I think some spaces there's power to that in the sense where I'm like, F you, I'm gonna do kind of what I want to do, right? Like I try to, because I want to stay unique to myself because I'm only comfortable. But I will say there's lots of spaces where I feel uncomfortable about it too. Like this, I just got a fellowship. I was at UC Davis for a couple days and with a bunch of folks, and I could definitely feel the like age difference and the vibe. Like they said it was casual, right? So when I read casual, I'm like,
I put on my breakdancing jacket.
Me too. My Adidas. Yeah. So I think, you know, so that's just an example of like, I think, so I'm navigating a space where I think as a woman of color, like as sort of not monolithic in any sense of the being, it's important. But I also recognize the power of being an API woman in a space where like there are not a lot of leaders who are API women in high level positions. And that means something to the community too. So I'm kind of wrestling with like where's my space and kind of what I try to do. So I think ultimately I've come to the space of trying to just be as authentic as I can be, because like faking it, you know, like I just am not very good at all that stuff. So so that's.
Well, is there one thing that maybe you want to tell us here, especially Laney or other community colleges, that you think we could do better together, all together, staff, students, part-time, custodial workers, classified, president, to ensure the success for everybody on board? Is there like, I don't know, that's a huge order, but is there one like?
That's a great question. I mean, I think if we're in meetings or we're anywhere and we're not talking about students as the center, I think we've lost our way. And so ultimately, like I want to hold myself accountable to that. And certainly I'm in a lot of meetings where maybe we're not necessarily talking about it, but I've got to be more explicit, because in my mind, I'm often thinking about like, how does this impact students? So we have this example of like these late ad things, and like there's no process and people are running around, and I'm like, a student is running from place to like that's so it's those sort of things where I'm thinking, so even though it might not feel student, as long as we're making sure that students are at the center of our focus and that we're really using their experience and what we do here as the litmus test, I think that's what any, you know, classified staff, administrator, faculty member, system, those kind of things. That's how we have to start to begin to approach and continue to work on things together. So.
Agreed. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Hi everyone, it's me again, Evan DeGennaro, part-time ESL teacher at Laney College. The story that I want to tell is one that has to do with teaching and also the education system in general, and I'll specifically tell why that is important. Number one, I come from a family that's been involved with education for a while. So my parents, both mid-career, became teachers so that, one, because they had a passion for it, but two, they made a choice to spend more time with their families. And I'm the third brother of 5, so you could imagine, that's a lot of energy and time. And they both made a choice to, my mother had been a nurse, my father was a photographer, but they knew in order to really have time with us that, they made the decisions they made to make it happen. So my father went back to school, got his credential, and my mother went in and developed a after-school program and also a kindergarten pre-K program. As a result, I really saw intimately what conditions are like for teachers. They both worked in Catholic schools in the East Bay, schools that really work with working class and low-income families, which is where we had come from as well. They gave their life, energy, passion into those schools. Made a lot of community. The school my mother worked at was the school that she grew up in, so she had definitely a passion working with families, working with children for the best and healthiest situations that could happen. Fast forward towards the tail end of their time, both of my parents were essentially pushed out, let's say. And it came down to a matter of money. The older you are, the higher on the pay scale you go, and these schools simply, they had made different excuses or reasons. And the reason we know this is because other teachers who were my mother's age were also pushed out at basically the same time. And I grew up in a Catholic school that preached the golden rule, treat people as you want to be treated. But I kind of felt like after witnessing that perhaps gold rules, that it's about profit. So saddened by that, I saw that up close. I became a teacher. I taught at my home high school, Mount Diablo High School in Concord. My neighborhood school, where I went to and graduated from, had a lot of passion. But this is during the time of No Child Left Behind. And we saw very clearly that No Child Left Behind was actually not about addressing the inequalities between, let's say, wealthy students and poor students, but it's about testing. And we saw schools close. The neighborhood junior high in Concord where I grew up closed. I think just a crazy amount of schools in Oakland have been closed, and this happened around the country. So I was very saddened by this, and I knew as a teacher too that the conditions teachers were working in were very stressful. Now I'm a part-time teacher in a community college system, and I just see that a lot of hard-working people are having a difficult time making ends meet. They have to work maybe 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 campuses just to make a regular living. A lot of students don't know this, that I think nationally 70% of university, college, junior college teachers are part-time, and it's people need to work, they need to survive. I hope, my goal, wouldn't it be so amazing here, like at Laney College, if we had true equality among all the jobs, if people had health care, housing, and transportation they could rely on. We want the best for students, and we know when people aren't doing well, they cannot do their best. So I hope, I have a lot of passion and energy. I want teachers and students in a community to unite so that we can push for a better reality. There's a myth out there that things are the way they are and that we can't do anything about it. But that's not true. The only thing that is constant is change. and we affect it. So I hope through our partnerships and through sharing the real stories that you've heard today, we can unite together and create a better, holistic, supportive future. We rely on each other. I know if my students were here, I don't have a job. The crackdown on immigration has reduced the amount of ESL classes, plain and simple. So immigration affects me. I was just at a teachers union conference this past weekend, and thousands of people in the room said, hey, the borders, we don't want the borders. The borders are for those who have wealth and want to control the populations. International workers, we need to unite. If you want to know more on Unite, come talk to me, and let's get ready also to support International Workers' Day, May 1st. Love to see you out there. My name is Evan DeGennaro. Thank you for listening.